लियो भाई, आपने डांस रियलिटी शो भी किया है, ठीक है? आप अपना आर्ट सोशल मीडिया पे भी स्प्रेड कर ही रहे हो। आप मुझे ये बताइए कि रियल ग्रोथ मतलब किधर है? आपको किधर लगता है कि इधर ज़्यादा ग्रोथ है इन टर्म्स ऑफ एवरीथिंग एवरीथिंग?
Okay, for me, the if you consider growth, I always talk it from a skill set point of view. Because the more the skills you have, the more the value you bring to your art, you become more valuable, and then people have that value when they look at you because you provide them those skill sets and you are ready for the market. If somebody calls you for industry work, you're there, you already know that stuff. If somebody calls you for teaching work, you know it. If somebody calls you for freelancing, just like music video shoots, you're ready. So for me, the idea is you as an artist got to experience every little thing that is there in the whole dance. When we talk dance is very big, right? You can be a cast in a music video, you could be a performer on stage, you could be a teacher, you could just be an educator without wanting to teach through movement but just through words, right? And there are so many more things right now, especially after the advent of social media. You can promote different brands, you can be, kisi ka gana aaya, you dance to it and make it possible. So if you go to see in terms of marketing yourself, there are many ways with social media, but at the end of the day, for me it comes to skill set. That's why I keep teaching my regular classes, because I have a responsibility to share my craft with my students. Plus, now that I know they are there with me for the long time, it reminds me that you have to share, which means even you have to keep evolving. You have to keep updating yourself, right? I cannot be teaching them the same thing I was teaching 1 year back, 2 years back.
तो आप बोल रहे हो कि स्किल सेट रहेगा, स्किल सेट सही रहेगा तो ग्रोथ किधर भी हो सकती है। वो अपना चॉइस है कि हम किस वे में हम चूज करते हैं कि आपको टीच मतलब रेगुलर क्लासेस करना है या फिर रियलिटी शो में कोरियोग्राफी करना है।
Also just want to add, with the skill set, I think confidence, believing in that skill set is much more important than anything. You might have all the skill set, but if you do not have that confidence or that belief that you have it or you got it, I don't think that's a good combination, having both those things. If you probably have skill set but not the confidence, you might have to work a little more hard. Thoda mushkil rahega. So you got to be good at your communication skills. You got to know how to be presentable, be ready for the market, all these things. Yeah. So just basic knowledge, but very important.
ये पूछना चाहता हूँ कि अ डांसर्स ग्रोथ, इसका रियल मीनिंग क्या है आपके लिए?
So again, what I believe is, the way I look at it is, I have a direction, right? To which I feel like I should get better at. If I feel like I have not gained some knowledge, the next day, if I'm comparing, because the competition is you, it's only you, right? So if I'm comparing myself to yesterday, and then I haven't seen a 0.1% not change, but an intent to change, at least wo purpose nahi hai, then I'm feeling like I have to remind myself, okay,
you're not growing.
Yeah, at least 0.1% try to educate yourself, dance it out, whatever, whichever. So for me, because I'm an educator and I want to be more focused on skill set, from the skill set point of view, I'm seeing, have I worked on my skills from yesterday, or is there something that I have gained more insight on? So that's the way I'm seeing it. 0.1% every day, which collectively in a year becomes 10% maybe.
भाई बट पब्लिक तो यही देखती है ना कि फेम आ गया है तो वही रियल सक्सेस है, वही पैसा है। ये स्किल सेट जो भी आप बोल रहे हो, स्किल सेट एक्वायर करना, उनके लिए वो मैटर नहीं करता। तो उसके बारे में क्या कहना है आपका?
वो उनका पर्सपेक्टिव है, देयर इज नथिंग अगेंस्ट इट. Again, it's a perspective game at the end of the day. It's like how you look at life, how I look at life, right? For me, I started dancing for a reason, and it was never for money. It was because it made me happy. And the whole reason I decided कि मैं professionally जाऊंगा, because I did not feel like I should even work for a day. That was the end point. So today when I'm dancing, I won't tell you I'm working for a day. I just do the thing that I love the most.
Lifestyle है.
It's a lifestyle. It's a thing. And I do not feel like I'm working any day. एक pressure नहीं है कि यार school जाना है या काम पे जाना है. That's not how I feel. Some people might feel lovely going to their job, but because they love it, right? But if you're not loving it, then it's a problem. So for me, I'm loving this thing.
आपका तो ऐसे job वाला भी thinking नहीं है. Like
Yes.
for you it's like breathing. Lifestyle.
Correct. Sometimes it just might feel because probably I did not wake up right. Maybe I did not start, wake up being grateful. So sometimes it happens. I'm not saying that does not happen, but most of the days, 90 out of 100 days, I'm just happy doing this thing, right? And so for me, if I'm loving this, I should not at least be in that comfort zone कि चल ठीक है मैं वही कर रहा हूँ. उसमें भी थोड़ा challenge चाहिए because that excites me. I should have a goal, and that goal could be different for different people. Like for some people going to a reality show, but you have to remind yourself that उसके लिए to reach a certain goal, you have to achieve that skill set for you to reach there. And skill set could be anything for that. Being presentable, knowing your dressing sense, being better groomed, all these things. We take this lightly. I believe a lot of dancers take this lightly. They are so focused on the dancing bit. They forget that there are more things that come with it, right? There is a personality behind the dance. That's the most important part. And that is you. So how do you groom and a lot of things like that. So ये जो भी इतना डांस वर्ल्ड जो इतना बड़ा है इसमें से थोड़ा थोड़ा करके at least you're working and you're getting better every day. If the picture is long term, which should be long term, 5-10 years, you'll be so good. You'll be so good and you will have so much value. You will bring so much into the table. People would want to have you with that.
बहुत डांसर्स के दिमाग में ना एक क्वेश्चन है कि हाउ टू क्रिएट योर ओन स्टाइल. मतलब अपना स्टाइल कैसे बनाए. आपका डांसिंग मतलब एकदम मस्का वाटर ऐसा मतलब है स्टाइल. तो ये बताइए कि कैसे डेवलप करें अपना खुद का स्टाइल.
Okay. To be honest, it's going to be a very big answer, but I'll try to cut it into short as much as I can. Okay. So the one real truth is you have to go through that road. Okay. Now what I mean by the road is putting that hard work. It's not a magic secret that आपको कोई भगवान आपको गिफ्ट में दे के देगा कि this is your style, you've been blessed with it. I'm not going to cut that bullshit. You got to go through that phase. You got to take classes. You got to have a mentor if you want to have the things getting faster. Like for example, when you have a mentor who knows his thing or who knows how he got his thing, he'll just probably help you in cutting that time that you might have to spend ki yaar kya karu cut, because he's coming with experience, right?
Correct.
So with that experience, he will help you to find your style, the same process that he found his style. If the mentor is telling you do it like me, then I don't think he's the right mentor, right? But if the mentor will help you in finding your own style, I think that's a good mentor. So having a mentor is a key for sure. And that's why I think we should be really grateful for the dance educators today, whoever is there trying to give their best genuinely, because they love sharing. I think we should be really grateful for them. So yeah, having a mentor, going through that hard way, taking those classes, trying to, I think so for me, I'll tell you what personally it was like. At the start, you have your inspirations. You want to be like them, right?
But basically copying them.
Yes, you're blatantly copying them. You're imitating them.
Yes.
It might go from Michael Jackson, from Late Twins, from, freestyle dancers like Majid and YD, can be to commercial dancers too, right? And you want to blatantly copy them because it looks cool and, But then after one point, you're like, but who am I? Right? You've been doing these, but they were themselves, but you were doing them. And suddenly you ask yourself, who am I? This is what happened with me. So then I had to ask myself a lot of things. And then the only answer that I was getting is maybe do your training. Why are you blatantly copying them? What's the thing that you love the most? Okay, hip hop. Go do your basics right. Understand what it is about. Understand the culture, blah, 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 blah. Got it? You understand the essence. धीरे धीरे ना train करते style आ जाएगा. But how do you figure out how your body moves is through some self-digging. okay, you have to really work on one part of your body.
तो एक प्रोसेस बता दीजिए ना कि आपने मतलब वो प्रोसेस क्या था एग्जैक्टली कि वो सेल्फ डिगिंग जो आप बोल रहे हैं तो टू फाइंड योर सेल्फ कि ये प्रोसेस करने के बाद ये टाइम था मेरी जिंदगी में कि मेरे को पता चल गया कि लियो ऐसा है मतलब लियोनेल सिक्वेरा इज दिस ब्रो.
Got it. So yeah, again, the self-talk was, I'll just play a music. I won't try to act like anybody, right? I won't try to dance like anybody. What will Leo dance to a certain track? So I would just go play, and then I would just listen to my heart. Like, it sounds cliche, listen to my heart, but then it was like, what is your body naturally telling you to do without making you think like you're trying to look cool, or without making you believe you're trying to look cool. Just dance. And dire, because of my training, certain parts of my body were moving well. And then I started paying attention to those body parts. Okay, this is my USP. When I listen to this music, this is the body part that makes me want to move. So I understood my strengths, which were naturally moving and which I could dance the most with. And then I also understood my weaknesses. Okay, this part of my body is weak because they are naturally not vibrating to that sound. Yes. So then I was like, okay, let me dig into it. How do I get into it? So I used to find my problems, then quickly go into the solution aspect of it. But at the end of the day, what I got to know was dance is an expression. So if it's like you're talking but without using your mouth, right? You're talking through your body. Correct. So how is Leo going to talk through his body without like being very honest with, if music baj raha, to how can I be really honest without me trying to talk, but being very raw, being very authentic? That was my question. Or dhire karke, I started working on my body parts. I started working on certain techniques. So I had to go through that hard way. I had to be very patient with myself, right? And understand like what dance truly is for me. And I think dhire with the also me taking regular classes, so consistency. Every day. So 3 चीज
हो गई मतलब आपने बोला कि ट्रेनिंग, मेंटरशिप और consistency.
Yes. And talking to a lot of dancers. Just understanding their approach.
अच्छा.
Don't just dance.
जैसा मैं कर रहा हूँ अभी.
Correct. Don't just dance. Watch. Study the masters. Right? Study the masters not to copy them, but understand how they do it. Right? Go dig. Think like how are they thinking? Like what they must be thinking at this moment, or what made them do that. So if you just go a little deeper than just the surface area and start questioning people, आप क्यों ऐसा नाचते हो? What's your approach? You just become a little more wiser. And if you just listen to people, I think you gain, and then it's up to you. आपको क्या relate होता है, आपके लिए क्या होता है. So, but talk it out.
So training, mentorship, consistency, and talking to a lot of people, which is nothing but knowledge. Yeah, definitely. Leonel Sequeira, as a dancer, अपनी audience से क्या expect करते हैं?
That's an interesting question. I have thought about it, but never thought of framing it. Okay, I'll be very honest. Be honest with me. कुछ भी अच्छा लगा, I want you to engage with me in the comments, or maybe, DM me like, oh, I really love this. If there is something that you felt watching a piece, do not hold it back. I would love it if you kind of share it with me in the comment section, or through any indirect way also is possible. But you just letting me know just kind of like, makes me understand, okay, there are people who really kind of like are benefiting from this, or were angry about this, jo bhi hai, right? So just be very honest with me and engage with me. That is something I would, want my people to do.
ऑडियंस का रिएक्शन आपके लिए बहुत ज़्यादा मैटर करता है. देखो, थोड़े लोग के लिए नहीं करता क्योंकि थोड़े लोग पोस्ट करके निकल जाते हैं, बट आपके लिए बहुत मैटर करता है कि ऑडियंस आपकी क्या चाहती है, क्या बोलती है, क्या कमेंट करती है.
करेक्ट. बिकॉज सी again, like I choreograph a lot of pieces, right? And some choreographies are for the people. And I have this dissection. Some choreographies are just for me. So I know when the choreography is for me, it would not मेरे को फर्क नहीं पड़ता है तभी whatever your opinion is, because for me I've done my job. Okay, I've danced for myself, but some pieces are for the people, right? And at least for that I kind of expect back in the head. I'm like, okay, are they really loving it because I did this for them? I've done this with a lot of care, love and everything. मैंने उनके बारे में सोच के किया है. So there is a human tendency to expect also, right? So yeah, there are certain, I would say, traits that come with that choreographing for the people. You expect कि हाँ वो love, वो प्यार वापस मिले, and it's always good for an artist यार. That's more than money, more than anything. It's just people engaging with you and just letting you know how much they appreciate your work is more than enough. It could change your day like that, right? So for me, like for me, knowing what style looked better on me, it was more than me. It was people telling me, right? It was people telling me this, wow, how do you do this? Then you start getting that confidence. Okay, people are connecting to me. If nobody had told me, I probably would have thought something's wrong with me. So I might have to do something. So until I got that validation from the people that whatever you do is really inspiring or is really creative or is really unique or is whatever their opinion was, that made me stick to my guns and say, okay, I have to do this. So it's a lot about how the people perceive you as an artist too. And to be honest, it really matters. It really matters. Maybe when I'm dancing, I'm in my zone. That time I'm not thinking.
It really matters. To you, it really matters.
Yeah. Maybe when I'm dancing, I'm not thinking about them, right? Maybe when I'm dancing, I'm in my zone. But once that performance happens, I would not say I expect, but just you telling me something, it's going to make my day. Of course, who does not like compliments? Who does not like people? Even something genuinely expressing कि यार ये अच्छा लगा, लेकिन here I felt like this could have been better. I look at it from a different angle, and then can help me get better at that.
Right. That's for sure. आप डिफरेंट स्टेट से हो एंड तकरीबन 5 साल हो गया मुंबई में. क्या मुंबई में रहना जरूरी है डांसिंग करियर को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए?
बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन है, बट I think वही है कि Mumbai is considered as a place wherein artists, entertainers, people want to be here because they know a lot of people are here and the opportunities could be more, right? But right now, after the advent of social media, I'll probably have to think a little deeper and let you know that yes, it's possible for you to ट्रेन तो आप किधर से भी कर सकते हो. Right now with the whole online thing, you having access to a lot of people. So right now I feel after the advent of social media, Instagram booming, the whole reel section and everything, I think you can market yourself as a dancer, but I believe you have to have a clarity on what direction you want to go towards, right? There are many ways. You having a clear vision, like you really want to dance for, because you really want to be true to that art form, true to yourself, like I love it, right? Then I would believe then you have to train from the right people. You might have access to a lot of international dance teachers through online and everything, but there are some teachers from India, I believe, who really give original stuff, like
जैसे Leonel Sequeira.
No, I do not want to put myself there, but I really believe that because a lot of Indian blend, right, with taking inspiration from the international dancers, jidhar se aaya hai ye style, and just giving that Indian touch also. To experience it, I feel you got to be there live in person, but online helps it. जैसे मैं भी लेता था online classes and everything. So for a dancer, coming back to the question, I don't think it's necessary. But what happens, like for example, people in Mumbai, because a lot of things happen here, are considered first priority. For certain things. Kal shoot hai, and you know how the industry is. They won't tell you 2 weeks prior. They'll tell you 2 days prior. 2 days priority में अगर आपको rehearsal कल करनी है, तो obviously they won't prioritize somebody who's living far, because they'll have to look after their tickets. They'll have to look after a lot of things, right? But किधर अंधेरी is 5 minutes, so I can go for a rehearsal in the next hour. So they are given first priority in a lot of things. So yeah, certain things I definitely feel for as being from Mumbai, I think is helpful.
तो बोल सकते हैं कि 50-50 है मामला. वो डिपेंड करता है
I
कि
would not
अपने
say, after the advent of social media, I would say it is probably 20% का benefit है.
अच्छा
20-30%. Because 70% I think you can do stuff from online.
लियो भाई, तो आप ये बताइए कि आपके लाइफ का कौन सा ऐसा मोमेंट था जहाँ पे आप फूट फूट कर रहे हो, आंख से आंसू ही नहीं रुक रहे, यार मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, मतलब व्हाई इज दिस हैपनिंग टू मी, यू आर क्राइंग योर हार्ट आउट, बट फिर उसके बाद आपने बोला कि सब जानना चाहिए कि लियोनेल सिक्वेरा कौन है एज अ डांसर। ये कौन सा ब्रेकडाउन वाला मोमेंट था?
Yeah, so I think I shifted to Mumbai in 2017. So in your head, you think you've made something, you've done something because you've been on TV for like good 2 months. People should be knowing you and blah and blah. So I come here and I love teaching. Like I always wanted to be like an instructor who wants to share and everything. And plus I felt like that's where I can build my skill set. So, for me, the institutes that I was teaching in, Nritya Shakti and Big Dance, initially, I don't think people accepted me as a teacher. People accepted me as somebody as a reality guy who did his thing, right? Right. So they did not have the trust in me like this guy could teach.
Oh.
Okay. So for as much as I remember, for a year, I was having just 1 to 5 students.
बट ये जो ट्रस्ट इश्यूज थे कि आप टीच नहीं कर सकते, ये कम्युनिटी वाले डांसर्स, मतलब डांस कम्युनिटी वाले ही थे या फिर स्टूडेंट्स थे कि जो आपको ट्रस्ट नहीं की कि ये सिखा सकते हैं या नहीं सिखा सकता है?
I cannot put that blame on anybody. I just feel like people did not have that trust yet. Will this person be able to guide me in understanding my body better, understanding my dance better? But I was into this thing that I've done this thing, right? But why are people not turning up to my classes? So that was, and not for like just a few days. It was going for for months and almost a year. So, and I've committed to myself that this is the thing I'll be doing for a while. और या अगर मैं बहुत सारी चीजें भी कर रहा हूँ, this is my priority. This is my main source, right? So that was, I think, at somewhere in between, I had a breakdown. Like, what's happening? Like, why aren't people turning up in your classes, but you can see people turning up in somebody else's classes? So I had to ask myself a lot of questions, come back, reality check and everything. And then I just understood that I lacked in skill set. I was not the Leo that I am now when I was back there in 2017. Just doing a reality show does not mean that you're, gratefully skilled, or that is what I felt. Because see, again, being a reality show guy, you got to have that skill set of being on a reality show. That's a different skill set, and I believe that's a harder skill set because you're suddenly dancing in front of the cameras. You have the pressure of people watching you all over the world, not just India, just to present yourself out there, which I felt I had that. I worked with that as I got it. But here, teaching and having that vocabulary of authentic dance, like, okay, understand what you're teaching, also be able to conduct a class, have that command over your language, guiding people, telling them what's wrong, giving them proper feedback, maintaining the energy in the room, all these things. So I had to just dig down and ask myself, what are you lacking at? So, and then I had to checklist a lot of things. Okay, I'm good at this, so I need to build this more because I'm already good at it. What am I weak at? Okay, fix that. Okay, you need more skill set. Go, train. So every day I had this thing, and I used to devote myself for a good 3-4 months. ठीक है, जिस भी weakness पे check ये करना है तो उसको हटा देना है. So I made sure everything that was there, I checklisted that off, and then I think, yeah, I could see the change. I slowly could see the change.
आजकल के सोशल मीडिया के ज़माने में ना, मैंने देखा है कि बहुत लोगों के दिमाग से पेशेंस यानी कि सब्र नाम का शब्द ही हट गया है. तो उसके बारे में क्या कहना चाहते हो इन टर्म्स ऑफ डांसिंग?
That's a smart question. This is for you people. So yeah, I really believe that has been the biggest drawback. I'm going to be very blunt about it because that's not a good thing. in any way, that's not a good thing. किसी का attention span कम होना मतलब your mind is being controlled with the whole device. That's not a good thing. I believe just kind of like एक इंसान को ना थोड़ा self questioning करना चाहिए is what I believe when they are scrolling too much of the reels, or when they feel like their motive has changed and suddenly changed. Just take a step back and ask yourself, like, is this any good for your mind or for the coming generation, is what I believe. So
आपका एक्सपीरियंस बता दो ना कि ये कैसे क्लास लेते हैं और एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि कल ही सीखना है
correct like
और कल ही वीडियो डाल देते हैं उसी
exactly so yeah, so I see this in a lot of students. Like I teach all over the country, and people have questions like, how do I see this growth happen tomorrow? It does not happen like that. You have to be consistent. And what does consistency means? It's not just a couple of days, it's months, giving years of yourself, and then you have to enjoy that process. Aajkal people do not want to get into that process. People are just behind the result, that कोई जी नहीं रहा है वो process में. आपका learning तो उस process में है, right? You become a better individual, you become a better artist, you just become a better, wiser person when you are living that process, when you are going into those details and understanding what can make you better in this thing, right? But here people just want to reach that peak, forgetting कि क्या ladders चढ़ने हैं, क्या steps हैं. So I feel
what do you have to tell about the students जो भी डांस क्लास में आते हैं, कोरियोग्राफी सीखते हैं, just because कि वो नेक्स्ट डे उस कोरियोग्राफी को पोस्ट कर सके ऑनलाइन, पेशेंस के मामले में?
I mean, see, if you are a really talented dancer, you have that in you that you can do it फट से, अच्छे से, that's good for you, right? But if you are doing that just to learn a choreography because that song is catchy to you, right? And you know that song chal raha hai, right? But you've not challenged yourself to make it आपका best execution नहीं है वो, right? Your body can still do better. Then why have that hurry? आप वही चीज एक्सीलेंस के लिए भी स्ट्राइव कर सकते हो, लेकिन आपको एवरेज क्यों बनना है, इज माई क्वेश्चन. देयर इज नथिंग रॉन्ग विद बीइंग एवरेज, बट आई फील लाइक पीपल, नाउ दैट यू नो यू हैव वन लाइफ, स्ट्राइव फॉर एक्सीलेंस. फॉर मी दैट्स द थिंग. सो until you know you can execute a choreography to the maximum potential, try until then, and then when you know you have the best possible execution, I believe you can go strive for excellence always. That's my slogan.
So this is what you want to tell your students कि भाई सब्र रखो, सब्र का फल लेट होगा पर मीठा जरूर होगा.
बहुत सही, बहुत like for, I mean, I cannot stress on this enough, but yeah, patience is the key. But again, patience can also make you feel like, 5 साल है. No, you have to want it like you want it tomorrow, but also know that the game is big. Right? You got it. It's a balance. It's a balance of being impatient and patient together. Patient when you look at it from the long run. I know this is going to take, but you cannot be complacent and tell yourself 5 साल है, right? You cannot keep giving yourself excuses कि नहीं यार टाइम है.
होते ना लोग कि अभी तो मेरा क्या ही एज है यार, मैं तो अभी छोटा ही हूँ, मैं क्या बहुत टाइम अचीव करने के लिए.
Exactly. You have to know the longer picture, that it's going to take time, but also you have to work like you want it tomorrow. And that might actually cut down the time. अगर 5 साल चाहिए थे किसी डांसर को, उसने शायद 2 साल में किया होगा, just because of his work ethic, because he really believes in working hard and being consistent enough. So it's a game that you have to understand very well, and if you're smart, I think you'll get it.